Some more announcements this week. But kicking things off, welcome into the Cafe Nightly Show. Today is the 20th. It happens to be Tuesday, and I happen to have been gone for 4 days, and I'm glad to be back. Welcome to the Cafe Nightly Show. I am the Goldsmith, of course, as always. And we got some things going on that are small announcements, the things that are the fulfillment of a previous promise. We did have the passes and badge happen this week. Badge being the badge for unique structures. There are a few people who have already earned it, so that is out there and into the world now. We did also see the Frost Pass Season 3 happen, or the drops happen this week. I'll get into some of my own opinions on this. Again, I've heard a few things from people who are part of the community, what their thoughts were. I've gotten and taken the chance to get mine up there. And again, it took me a little bit, to be honest, just getting back to the real world today. It took me a bit, even to this evening, to get a better feel of even how I interact with this new drop, because this is a new interaction, a new way that this is set, and we'll get into that. That's a little bit of worth noting. And of course, we've talked about the monster trucks. We talked about the economy around it, people buying and selling, and how people were trying to move around those carts to try to get one of those coveted spots to get one of the monster trucks. And it's official that we have the list of people. And again, this is a different thing than we've seen in other contests, but specifically, this is not a contest. This is a redemption or burn for redemption. But because it was turned into a snapshot as opposed to a burn for redemption, Upland turned it into a almost like a contest where the contest recipients, the winners, are going to be noted. So we'll get into that. The names are out there. It's official. Those who did get snapshotted as having all three different designs of the car, again, 2 different series of redemptions for the truck. Anybody who got snapshot for that, the names are out, so we'll get into that. And I'll call it congratulations, because again, it was treated like it was a fulfillment type contest as opposed to a burn, because again, Upland removed the burn mechanism this time around. So we'll get into that, of course. But other than that, waiting for, I was gone Friday, I was gone yesterday, or I didn't have the ability to get in time to do a show, and lo and behold, there wasn't really anything to do a show on. So we'll talk about the one other elephant in the room, of course, which is what do we have coming next. And with that, let's kick things off with a customary and can't miss it disclaimer up front. All views and opinions expressed by myself and mine alone should be taken as game strategy or financial advice. Any views or opinions I express obviously do not represent the game or the team of Upland. Guests who do have on, entitled to their own opinion, love them to have it. They should not be taken as game strategy or financial advice. They don't represent the game or the team of Upland or myself, the Goldsmith of the Cafe Nightly Show. With that, do want to take a look at a couple things. I am on YouTube. I am on. There you go. I am on YouTube. I am on the plaza, in the plaza in Upland. If you want to see the visuals on either, reason I bring it up is so that I can show you the visuals if you're in either place. So a couple things that are worth seeing here, because this is a very visual portion of what's going on now, being the Frost. The Frost Pass is 100% are a visual. You got to see them to see them. And I'm going to take a quick look, get this up so we can see it, because yes, I did get a Frost Pass. We had this discussion. Talked to different people about it. And this idea of, you have to have the pass, or I felt I had to have the pass to be able to broadcast or to show it or discuss it in a really meaningful way. And the truth is, really the way this ended up, I needed to have a pass in order to talk about it and show it or discuss it in a meaningful way. And that's because a lot of these passes, the way that they're showing, the way they're displaying, the way they're passing out, it shows up best or easiest, or you can't really even display it or look at it unless you have the pass itself. And that is because if I come over here, this is my property, and I'll show you a little bit about how we can change this property card background. But if I go to someone next door and I look at their property, look at that. There's their property code. There's the property for Bellis. We're going to find somebody who doesn't have one. Here we go. No frost pass. Look at that. It's just a regular white. So it is showing up. If you do have the frost pass, you do select what you want to have for the replacement of the background cards, you are going to obviously be in a position where all of your properties show like that to everybody in the game of Upland. All of your properties are going to show with a difference in the card for yourself as well. But you are going to look around at somebody else's property. You don't get that visual enhancement. So right here, the property frost backgrounds or property card backgrounds. First time we've ever done it. Like I said, when I say frost backgrounds, it's because that's all we have for background enhancements currently. My anticipation 100% and fully is that Upland is going to use this mechanism in the future. You can change your background, your property card backgrounds for future seasons passes. And I kind of had suggested or thought that this would be a possibility because it's one of the visual enhancements that could be done in the game. Change your profile background. We already saw that with the animations that are on your Block Explorer background as your Block Explorer travels around Upland. And then obviously all of the UI, all of the interfaces that we touch in the game. I thought that we could change those backgrounds, and that's what we got here finally. It's the first time we can do it. I'm sure it'll be done again. We have 3 different colors here. We have the Ice Blink, which is obviously Frost 24. We have Snuggle, and we have Chill Dome. And if I do apply them here, I hit change to change the background here, and then I go to my card themselves. You'll see that is my card that I had specified. We do see that if I open the card up, we just see the extension of it, and that it covers the card. And that's really the way those are set. So here's a couple things on this. This is coming from the community already. I am going to be on the side of the community so long as it is affecting a number of people in it. So it is affecting a number of people. I don't have. I guess I can see. I'm wearing glasses so that I can see a little better. Depending on what I'm looking at as far as a screen, the differences of slight differences in color may or may not always jump out to me. And then for some people, it's even worse. Some people have more trouble than others, especially with color blindness. And when I look at these colors, and again, pointed out by a number of people as well, some people to the point of saying they're having a hard time even seeing it, is this white on white, blue on blue. Look at the color differences here. This light blue here is not too far from this blue here. This white is not too far from the original property card. If I had the right eyesight, I would tell you that difference is pretty hard to see. Again, it could be done differently if we were changing the color of the lettering, if we were what's called the old inversion, the ones that were supposed to be black go to white, and then we go to a darker background. We'll have to see how Upland addresses this in the future states. But again, Frost season is a white season. It seems like that is the theme of the season. I can kind of see the Upland's point in doing so, but yeah, it does kind of stand out. And as Levin put it, as boring. Again, that is entirely up to the individual, whether the Frost season ornaments here are boring or they're exciting to people or people enjoy them. But these particular ones, just because of the visual difficulty in some people seeing them, they look light enough that some people may be able to say, hey, it's not my thing. I can't even see what's going on there. So hopefully different colors here long term. There we go. What are we looking at? Oh, I don't know. Look at the visual standards here again. Hopefully, maybe we see those colors change a little bit at some point in the future. But of course, on these, we do expect to see this again. What I do want to speculate or put a little bit of a thought on is we've changed the background here. We've added animations. So if we go back and take a look here, we can see here we added animation once. We added animation a second time with these Valentine's Day ones. The first animation was for the big game for NFLPA, or the NFLPA partnership for the big game, and then we have now the modification of the property cards. We have a couple weeks left, so it'll be interesting to see what gets changed if we just get some more modifiers to the property cards. There are a few other places for visual enhancements. One of the suggestions or one of the possibilities put out there is visual enhancements for that are going to affect the structure, the actual property holdings. When people look at their own property, who knows? I cross my fingers, but it won't be a map asset. We know it won't be an NFT. So it's still a question of what other types of visual UI enhancements can Upland make without actually getting to the point where, again, they're creating something that is tradable in NFT or get them in there. And of course, getting these comments in here about having to squeeze in the little box to be able to decorate my structure. That's still a thing. And Levin, that looks like you found that by just a crack of a hair. Just barely got that snuck in the backside of that property. With the announcement here, or the I should say the lack of announcement, but the announcement last week, letting us know that today, the 20th, was going to be the first drop of the badges. We do see the badges for the unique structure badges. We'll take a quick look at one of them here. I think I can get to it without too much effort. We get back to trying to pull this up in Discord. Fingers crossed we get it pretty easily. Mm-hmm. And we dropped earlier today. Obviously, this is one that was hoping to see, get definitions on. I had to ask the team about a little bit. If you could give the confirmation. It looks like the answer was told the answer was going to be that it was 30 unique structures. What's the answer of unique? It is different structures. Does it have to be one type of structure or another? Can it be the original structures in the game of Upland? The original set. What we're calling legacy, or what we've been told by the team, they're considering legacy, as that at some point those won't continue to be made. And the answer is yes. I mean, it's all of the above without having to restrict one way or the other. And there we go. That should do it. We get that screen shared. Congratulations to Jaded Priest being one of the first to get the unique structures badge. These did go out today. Like I said, they will continue. Fingers crossed, we'll continue to see people add these up. But as I said when I originally got in here, and here's Jaded Priest original set here, I bought a new Cleveland property to build what I thought would be my 30th unique structure, only to check out the profile 3 minutes later and see this. Glad I helped someone with UPX. Again, of course, there we go. The unique structure badge is out. There's not very many of them who have been earned. I am a long way from getting mine, but I do continue to build. So that is something to watch out for, as I'm already watching out for it myself, to get ready for to move towards getting all 30. But as of right now, very few people haven't earned that today, but knowing that has been earned. Of course, going on to this idea of the information we've had on this, kind of gone back and forth. I do want to make the point one more time, is the language that Upland uses sometimes gets recycled. They like to put the word unique or exclusive when they talk about one thing or another. The term exclusive is very specific when it comes to when we're talking about collections, but when Upland uses the term exclusive to refer to something that's happening over a short period of time, and it's not tied to an exclusive collection, or they use the term exclusive saying that it's available only in one sale and not another. But again, it's also not a exclusive property, again, included in a exclusive collection. It gets a little confusing. With unique, we've seen Upland use the word unique probably 40 different times. They talk about this is a unique opportunity or a unique asset, saying that it's different than others, which is fine. But again, the language and the language, the common parlance of the word unique getting reused again and again and again. If it has a specific meaning, we've got to be careful about using it in broad terms, many, many times over, because there's these structures in the game of Upland right now that I'm building. I kind of made the point of this before, and I'll make it again, is I'm building this structure that's called a unique structure. If I go to my in progress builds, you can always get to, and might as well share this as I'm doing it. If you go to your in progress builds, you can get there pretty easily. Anytime, should be able to, from your regular profile landing page. We can get to our in progress builds through our Spark allocations. And I see this Miami Townhouse 1. I see this showroom that I'm building. And look at this up here. It's called the Queen's Unique Structure. That kind of throws things off here with language, is this idea that do I have to build 30 of these? I don't know. So 30 different, or 30 not unique, maybe unique's not the word, 30 different structure types have to be built to get that badge. I'm on about 15. I'll be at 17 after this one and the Miami one finish. But again, definitely is one of those things that we'd like to see better use of language, or at least if you're going to use a term we've used before, give me a little bit better definition. The way we could do that theoretically is when we make these announcements, say, to qualify, you have to have 30 different structures types built. This is what we mean by structure types. These currently is the list of different structure types in the game of Upland. And again, like I said, there was 38 that I was counting at the time. I think we're closer to 41 if you redo the math. Available structure types that you could theoretically build. Excuse me, you could theoretically build at your discretion to get to the 30 different structure types in the game of Upland, which is fine. But again, put them all out there just to make it clear what counts and what doesn't. Makes it easier and tells people that if you make 4 of the same structure, obviously it doesn't go towards your count of 30. It has to be different structures, and as long as that's what the mark is, which I still haven't gotten a real full answer in a plain way, in plain English, but it's what it appears to be here with this redemption, with people actually getting this badge. It's those who have 30 different structures built in the game of Upland. And anybody who did get the badge as of today, congratulations, because it is not an easy one to get. There are badges you could buy right now. If I wanted to, I could turn around and I'm on the list of people who've done it, and it wasn't solely for this badge, but it was for this badge, or it was part of the story of getting this badge is the season pass. You bought the season pass, and lo and behold, you go and take a look, and right here, Frost Season Pass 2024. It's a badge. So $7 versus all the work that goes into getting the Unique Structures badge. Unique Structures badge is so much more work, at least as far as I'm concerned, than shilling out $7. Not all badges are created equally, and we'll see what continues to happen here with collectors type badges. But the one thing that Unique Structures badge did was wake people up as to what they're building for structures versus just building structures in general. It gave a little more utility for people wanting to build structures. Of course, having these contests for decorating properties, having at least a few or a handful of structures decorated, or having structure ornaments going onto owned properties, that has added a little bit of utility there for having structures in themselves. And we're looking for more utility here, obviously long-term coming out, but we will continue to see, hopefully, fingers crossed, Upland using badges in this way, because people do still like badges. They're still willing to put effort in. In many cases, people were willing to spend $7 just to get a Frost badge and see what happens with the visuals thereafter. And speaking of spending just to get a reward, we have the Monster Truck Redemption happened today. It was a snapshot event. I'll go back and review a little history on this. A little bit of the history is, originally this was going to be a burn event, and that would have required people giving up ownership of 3 different assets, 3 different cards, in order to be, to redeem a single truck. It was something that was a little surprising to me and to a couple of people once they read all the language, because there was a lot less, and when I say a lot, it really was a lot. There was a lot less available redemptions than there was original gate pass or people buying for these passes, these assets for the chance to get in on the redemption. Again, pretty simple. It was a two-stage sale. First of all, you had to go and buy a asset, or had to buy a bundle to get into a second sale. You get into the second sale, and then you have to buy a cart and try to get a total of 3 cards here with the Monster Mayhem cards. There was 2 different series that were in there. There was the Monster Mayhem cards, and there was going to be a Little Monsters card set in here as well. So technically speaking, of the assets that were available, there was a chance to get in, and anybody who did get any of the assets, any of the map assets, which was going to be which was going to be anybody who bought these new map assets or already had the Little Monsters map assets from the fall, these guys right here, they automatically going to get into an opportunity to go and buy these cards. There was less cards available than there was room for or people who are going to be eligible. So the people who are eligible could register and go back and buy some cards, and then try to buy and get lucky and get the randomized rare cards here, because you have to have the rare card if you're going to do a burn, right? Many of these burn functions in a lot of games, and Upland included, you have a rare one, and then you have the more common ones. Obviously, the more common ones end up being fodder because there is fewer overall redemptions than there are overall commons, and you really need the rare to determine whether or not you're going to get that burn. So the Noodle Fang was a limiting factor here, 10 of those available. The Frankenstein was the limiting factor here, 20 of those available, which means you had 10 cards in this redeeming series, and you had 20 cards in this redeeming series that were going to be determinative of who got a truck. The truck was the big prize. Here's the trucks right here. And you were going to burn the 3 of the Monsters Mayhem to get this truck here, and you're going to burn 3 of the Tiny Monsters to get this truck here. However, because of technical limitations, so if Upland at this time or while they were getting ready to do this burn, they did change it from being a burn, and they changed it to a snapshot, which meant you just had to hold on today, or yesterday, I should say, yesterday into today, depending on where you are in the world, you had to hold all 3 of these cards or all 3 of these cards. And as I'm motioning to them, you had to own the Pumpkin, the Frankenstein, the Ghost, or you had to own the Boogle Walk, the Grumble Guts, and the Noodle Fang to qualify to get one of these 2 trucks. And we actually have names. We've got receipts. We've got the people who won these trucks, which is interesting. Like I said, in a burn event, they don't need to put it out there because they could individually notify the people who did it. It's pretty clear, or it should be pretty clear, that you win or you earn or you don't earn based on what you have for ownership of assets. And again, they can communicate that back directly to customers, to owners of those properties. But they did go and put it out there. So theoretically, if you had a question about, did I qualify? Who qualified? Did all 10 get out? Did 40 get out? How did this end up happening? There is an answer, and that answer was in the form of an announcement here, and it is under live update. So let's go take a look at that announcement, with a quick caveat being that we are going to see the list of winners. On that list of winners, I'm actually pretty excited to see some people that I know, and know that this is going to be something that I felt like I had no chance on. The reason for that was the people who ended up getting the rare cards that was going to determine who won these. It seemed to be people who were going to be holders. I mean, in many cases, it wasn't like people want to get rid of them. They were jockeying to get some of the commons, even because they weren't evenly distributed, obviously. We did end up having the opportunity to buy up to 3 cards for many people. That was just because they weren't all bought in the first round. It was randomized as to the order. It was randomized as to which card you got with each opportunity to purchase. So you could buy 3 cards, 4 cards, 6 cards, and still not get one of each of any of those series. So we did we did see a decent sale opportunity happen. We did see a secondary market, which is always fun. But a lot of people who had the rare cards in the first place are the ones who ended up redeeming. Uh, if I take a look at the Tiny Monsters monster truck, we got White Ferret, Swedish Mogul, Ken 666, Shadow on both boards. Look at that. X707, X OG Killa. I've got Mountain Squirrel. Wow, I'm gonna run right down the list and just say we've got everybody here in the monster trucks. If you want to take a look at this for the tiny monster trucks, you can see this under the live updates in Discord. So all of the winners, congratulations, are all those people who earned it. It's not really a contest so much as it is a burn event, which is not a burn event. And down here in the Monster Mayhem, we have a list again here. Shadow makes another appearance down here. Ken 666 makes another appearance down here. Yeah, had to, or for the most part, people who ended up with the rare of those cards had to pay for it. We did see 2x, 3x, 4x happening for a cost for the commons. So not surprising that it was not an easy area for people who are newer players in the game to get to. It was something that was definitely pricey and costly. So congratulations. And again, it was more of you follow what you want to do in the game. The truck redemption on this, or earning the carts, buying them in the secondary, holding them for that short period of time for the snapshot in order to get one of these cars was a direct choice. It is something that costs more than retail price. Obviously, there's nobody who would have gotten that I know of, just naturally gotten lucky and got all three and said it was a day, called it a day, and got their truck. So people had to go out there in the secondary market and purchase to get there and make trades and swaps, and ultimately that's part of the game of Upland, or is one of the parts of the game of Upland that Upland looks to as a gamification, because it is kind of spending to win, or paying to earn, or paying to get this truck that goes above and beyond a retail price. So it is influenced by the market, but that is something that gets people working between players. One player has to interact with multiple other players, whether it's by purchasing through a car showroom, or it is making an agreement with somebody to make a direct one-for-one swap because they've got one cart and somebody else has another. Each wants the other cart, and they just make a swap that way. However it happens, this is part of what is making the game of Upland now. So I can't be too surprised that there's some people who are better at it than others, because some people have done amazing in the game of Upland as far as building their collections, trading, finding people to trade with. And at this point, there are 30 new truck owners at this point from this. And I am double checking to see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the Monster Mayhem trucks get redeemed. That was a speculation that we had. There was a possibility that somebody would end up with that rare truck or that rare cart opportunity for the truck and just not get the other two in their portfolio, which seems silly, because the value of the rare is, as many would attest, or many would feel for themselves anyways, has a higher value than the ones that are less rare, because again, it's the one that's determinative. It's the one that determines whether or not you're going to get the truck. So it was interesting to see that, yes, there was all 10 here. So the people who got the opportunity took it. Congratulations again to those folks. I did see that. Okay, Wolf Warner congratulating Metamorph 19 of getting one of the Monster Mayhem's truck. There you go, Metamorph 19 on that list. And congratulations to everyone who did get those trucks. Or the one thing that was going for them, for the trucks, why people were working so hard for them, is they do have different graphics. They're made in limited numbers. That's always fun for people. It makes a difference when you're racing and you can see your truck and you can see it on the racetrack, and other people can see it and they say they know it's you because there's not very many of those trucks out there. But the other thing too is it's got enhanced graphics, and it's got an enhanced graphics, got an enhanced look above and beyond being wrapped. It looks nice that it's wrapped, but it has better stats than a regular truck, so that's always fun as well. And again, having better stats makes it more competitive in races, potentially puts it in the opportunity to be in its own race divisions in the future, or in a new race division for off-roading in the future. So it obviously does attract people to want that truck. So with that, that's over. Looking forward to these potentially coming out with other series in the future. Hopefully, we continue to see opportunities for people to trade swap to end up with what they want. And again, this was something that wasn't meant to be a burn. We might not see this aspect again. This was a snapshot aspect. We've seen a couple of these where you're holding the right things at the right time and you get the reward. You don't have to give up anything. Upland has decided they want to use burning. A lot of people in the game of Upland wanted to have burning as well. We've seen these burnings in both map assets and in block explorers, where you give up the ownership of a few block explorers to get an enhanced version of a block explorer. We may see more of this in the future, but as of right now, again, we missed one of the opportunities for burning did get missed. And just 1 second here, pick that up. And of course, we are gonna look otherwise for into the near future. We have a couple things that we are looking at happening over the next couple weeks. First and foremost, we know that we have this hanging above our heads. It's supposed to happen this quarter. We're over halfway through the quarter as of right now, Q1 2024, for cars as transportation. That is the ability to travel between one city and the next via your car, via your vehicle that you have in the game of Upland. It's not going to include carts, but it will include all cars, trucks, and vans that are currently in the game, and traveling between cities as opposed to taking a train or a bus or an airplane. So that's going to be exciting to happen. We're still waiting on the countdown for that, or the acknowledgement on that. We continue to talk about the utility of Spark and the reason for Spark in the game of Upland. Upland kind of gave us a reason to build unique structures this, last week with the pass that just last week with a badge, which did actually drop today. We continue to see Upland talk about the utility and the need of Spark. We continue to hear about, Spark is coming, these little trickles on this. But the one thing that's supposed to come this quarter, or hopefully this quarter, to help get us ready for Spark is going to be a Spark AMA. The future of Spark in December. The team went so far as to put Reddit out for people to put in their suggestions as far as what they wanted to see for utility and use case for Spark this year. So I am looking forward to it myself, to seeing that announcement. We'll watch out, keep our eyes open. We have some enhancements coming here at the end of this season as well, the first Frost season, and that's going to be in the form of Upland running their own race series. So that will be coming up in the next several weeks. That'll be the end of this quarter, Q1 2024 for sure, because that is something that Upland is preparing to do. We've already seen them build new racetracks for it. They've already discussed the idea that this will happen in between seasons. So let's see this happen towards the end of this quarter. Otherwise, we are looking for announcements that we don't expect. We've seen a number of them in the last month, and we continue to see them throughout the game of Upland. That's kind of one of the things that keeps Upland keeping us on our toes is drops that we didn't expect, new badges, new things to purchase. Seasons did not exist a month and a half ago, or the concept thereof of having this season, having the correlation of what's happening during the season, and then those seasons being tied into the effect on earnings. So we'll continue to keep our eyes out. I do have a couple of things to get into and report later in the season, as we do continue to see people get closer to the end of capping out their rewards or what their max rewards will be in the form of dividends for next season, for Blossom season. Again, that's being done by activities this season. We've gone over that. We'll go over it again before the end of the season, and keep our eyes open otherwise. For today, I am glad to be back. We'll put a caveat out there that I continue to be in a season where I have to travel for work quite a bit. Whether or not I can make it every single Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. PT, we'll continue to see and keep our eyes on and monitor. But as of right now, I'm glad to be back. We'll continue to have shows throughout this week, 7 p.m. PT, in the on YouTube, anyways, on the Upland Discord in the cafe. And of course, for tonight, thank you so much for being here. If you are in the Upland Discord cafe, as always, please feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours.